Kyushu92 here, bringing you yet another episode of Kyushu Reflections. Well, not Kyushu Reflections, but One Piece Reflections for the month of April. Today is the last day of April, and you guys already know that every month, I always do a reflection on the past chapters of One Piece that we've had. So, let's get started. Starting with chapter 901, after the bombshell of 900. Even if you die, don't die. Now, basically what this was is, after the cliffhanger of Bad End Musical, which was the previous chapter before chapter 900, it left it kind of on a cliffhanger note, making us think that the Sunny was destroyed in front of the Big Mom's Shanter ship. But it turns out in this chapter 901 that it was actually switched out for the Sun Pirate ship, and that Wadatsumi had taken the Straw Hats into his mouth and gone underwater. Now, a bunch of things happen. I'm just going to go through some quick references. Now, first and foremost, it didn't dawn on me until later on. And also one of my viewers also mentioned this before. But the giant that we see, well, giantess, that we see in the cover page is Girth, who happens to be one of the giant children that grew up with Big Mom when Big Mom was a kid. And now she's part of Harudine's crew as their doctor, which makes her the first canonical giantess pirate that we see in the series. Lilia Stomach is also a giantess as well, but she is not canon. So it makes Girth the first canonical giantess who is also a pirate in the series. And afterwards, we find out that Moscato is alive. And for those of you who may have forgotten who Moscato is the Charlotte's son that tried to confront Big Mom when we first see her go on her food craze. And it looks like she just rips the life right out of him, and we think he's dead. But no, he's in this chapter, well and alive. So my theory on that is he may have been put in a death-like state. She may not have taken all of his life, but enough for maybe to put him into a coma. And like I said, like a death-like state, and he wasn't able to do anything, but I guess he regained his life back and regained consciousness or whatever. That's just a theory of mine. But in the same chapter as well, Perospero and Bavara have come across Big Mom, and she's literally just laid out, completely regained her entire body mass, and just in complete bliss because of the cake that she's eaten. And they give her the lowdown of all that's happening. And then, let me see, I'm just going through all my reference here. We have the Sun Pirates stand up to the Big Mom Pirates to defend the Straw Hats. And it's like a total 300 moment where they just rise out of the oceans prepared to fight them all. And Jinbei decides to stay behind, but even though to the protest of Luffy, because it says, hey, I'm your captain now. So this chapter pretty much makes Jinbei an official member of the Straw Hat crew. I don't know what position he's gonna fill, but this chapter just confirms that Jinbei is now part of the Straw Hat Pirates. And Jinbei decides to help them out because after all that he's done for the Sun Pirates, he just wants to be able to help them out in their time of need, such as fighting the Big Mom Pirates, who also have Germa 66 who are fighting them as well. And before even that, when Wadatsumi releases them, because as Wadatsumi is in the water holding on to the Straw Hats, after Oven uses his heat abilities to heat up the ocean and send like a heat tendril to hit Wadatsumi, he then apologizes to the Straw Hats for all the things that happened on Fishman Island, and he thanks Jinbei for giving him the chance to redeem himself by joining the Sun Pirates. Then a big old battle ensues. Luffy proclaims that he's now Jinbei's captain, making him official member of Straw Hats. Big Mom then heads to Kako Island on top of like a candy homie. And because she doesn't have Zeus anymore, because Nami has him now. So as she's heading there, Beige and his crew have pretty much gone out of sight of Big Mom, and they're sailing away silently on one of her tarts, which is like one of her outposts on the outside of her territory. And they're pretty much just sailing away with everyone just looking in that general direction. Hold on, let me turn off my phone. I was speaking to one of my PlayStation buddies. But also, in the midst of that... one of the things that Jinbei says as they're leaving is that, let me fight with them. And because when a fish man gets serious, he's capable of changing sea currents. And then in one panel, you see massive waves crashing in on the Big Mom pirates and all of that and what have you. And then the Thousand Sunny escapes from Kako Island, and they're soon almost out of Big Mom's territory. And in that same instance, we also get a panel of Morgans with CP0 Agent Stussy, and they're sailing away. Well, they're flying away on some sort of flying ship. I don't know. Like I hearkened it to James and the Giant Peach, but in place of a peach, it's like a boat that can, or like some type of vehicle that can be supported by flying birds. And in that instance, Morgans is rooting for Straw Hat to escape. Aha, escape Straw Hat to go out to the new world. And Stussy's wondering, why are you rooting for him? Do you really think, why do you put so much faith in him? Why are you on Luffy's side? And then Morgans is all like, well, of course I am. Among all the ones inside of the worst generation, one of them will rise to become the Pirate King. So Morgans just sees that Luffy is a candidate. A prime candidate to become one of the Pirate Kings. Well, become the Pirate King out of the worst generation. So, Morgans has put his ducats in on Luffy. He says that one of them will rise, but he's rooting for Luffy. And then the chapter ends on that note, with Morgan stating that. And then we have the next chapter, which is chapter 902, End Roll. End Roll? Was it really End Roll? Hold on. End Roll. Yeah, End Roll. And this one, we have a cover page, and it's like Ghostbusters. And in this chapter, this was actually sort of a sad chapter, mainly for Pudding, though. Because in this chapter, we see flashbacks of her interactions with Sanji, albeit ones where some is happy, and the others where she was faking, where she actually wanted to be evil like the rest of her family and treat Sanji bad and made fun of him and everything. And she's still in the alleyway while she's having these flashbacks. And after all this is going on, we finally find out what it was that Pudding wanted to do for Sanji. What that was she kissed Sanji. Sanji's first kiss, like official kiss. Not a no-comma kiss, but an official kiss from a girl that wanted to kiss him. And she then used her powers to take that memory away from him, so she can hold on to that, knowing good and well that Sanji may never come back to her. So after all that is done, Sanji learns about Pedro and then realizes that Pedro is officially dead. And they mourn just a little bit. And in the process, the Straw Hats, they escape from Totland. And they are pretty much out of Big Mom's territory. Then Big Mom arrives on Kako Island and confronts the Sun Pirates and the Vinsmoke family. Another thing. Brule goes back into the mirror world and attempts to fix up Katakuri. And we find out about their past. Namely, Katakuri's past and Brule's past. We even find out where she got that scar from. When they were kids, Katakuri was made fun of. He was called like a giant grouper eel because of his big mouth. And all because of his mouth, some kids attacked his sister. I wouldn't say some kids, but like a group attacked his sister, and they hurt her extremely bad. And even then, Brule was calling Katakuri perfect, one who stands out above the rest. You know the accolades that he gets. And this is what sent Katakuri over the edge. This is what caused him to become the most powerful person, second to Big Mom, in the whole Big Mom pirate crew. He donned his scarf on his face and literally just went ballistic and killed all of those guys who hurt Brule. And of course, in this same instance, we learned that Brule has known about Katakuri's mouth this entire time. She's known why she hides, and she knows that even though she made up the story of how he's so perfect and his back never touches the ground, she knows that his back has touched numerous things because she's seen through the mirrors. So, and she's upset that Straw Hat was able to get him to the point where Katakuri has mellowed out, it would appear. And even after finding out that Straw Hat Luffy has escaped Whole Cake Island, he just smiles at it, and that just infuriates her even more, although in a bit of a comedic light. So this is also the final chapter of the Whole Cake Island arc, and just seeing everyone's escaped off of Whole Cake Island. Hold on, let me get the whole reference here. No, what have I done? But no, I'm just gonna do this off of memory. This end roll is the final chapter of the Whole Cake Island arc. The chapter we get next. Oh my goodness. Let's go. All right. The chapter 903, the Fifth Emperor. Now, I was a bit awestruck by just the title because Yonko means four. Yon means four. So the Yonko have always been four, so I thought that it was a play on... I thought it was messing with me. So as we go on the ship of the Sunny, they're completely out of Big Mom's territory. They've completely escaped. And on the ship, Luffy and the crew, some members of the crew realize that, hey, Niji left something for Sanji in either Sanji's coat or Luffy's clothes. And it turns out to be a raid suit, specifically for Sanji. Now, of course, Luffy and Chopper, they want him to try it out because it could shoot laser beams, but Sanji says, no, that's ridiculous. We already got enough freaky people who can do scientific stuff. Which Nami returns with a rebuttal of, are you making fun of science? As she causes Zeus, who is now with Nami, to come out of Climatech. I mean, Zeus is literally living in her sorcery Climatech now. And this also makes Sanji jealous because Zeus is literally next to Nami all the time. Something that Sanji is jealous of and would like to have. And as this is going on, the news crews come around. Carrot lets them know that, hey, the paper's here, Luffy's in it. And as they're looking through it, they're talking about the events that happen on Whole Cake Island. Luffy looks at his, one thing that comes as important is Sanji's bounty raises to 330 million, and also his status changes from only alive to dead or alive. And they also print his Vinsmoke name, which, much to his chagrin, he would rather just be called Blackleg Sanji. But now he's known as just Vinsmoke Sanji on all wanted posters now. But aside from that, he's happy that now his bounty is, for the moment, higher than Zoro's. So he now has the third highest bounty in the crew. And as Luffy looks at his bounty, they're recounting all the events of how Luffy pretty much... let me just get to the important part. Luffy looks at his bounty, and it would appear that they lowered his bounty to only 150 million. 50 higher before Water 7. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's distraught over it. And then we see people across the world. And also, most importantly, this chapter starts the Reverie arc. Reverie. So, as they look through the papers, we see different viewpoints from everyone. Dalton, Dr. Kureha, the Riku family, and we see Vivi, we see Viola, we see Rebecca, and we see the Tontadas. They're all looking through all of this. We even see Kobe and Helmeppo for the first canonical time. Kobe is now a Marine HQ captain. Helmeppo is a lieutenant commander. We also see that Kobe has observation haki, as does well, we already know that Kobe has observation haki. But Helmeppo has it, but his is weaker than Kobe's. Because in what we see of Kobe, he jumps into the water from his ship and literally uses Sea Walk or Soru or Shave, however, which translation, you know, the 6 powers abilities. And he uses it to catch up to a torpedo that a bunch of pirates who have kidnapped a princess have used to try and attack the Riku family in order to kidnap Viola. But of course, Kobe catches the torpedo in an instant, sends it up through the water, and it explodes away from the ships, and they all apprehend the pirates, and they proceed to escort the rest of the Riku family to New Marineford for the Reverie. And in this moment, Rebecca and Kobe have a fanboy, fangirl moment over Luffy, even though Kobe secretly Kobe knows as a Marine that he can't support the actions that Luffy does, but after all that Luffy has done for Kobe, he can't help but be happy for him. I mean, he has tears in his eyes when he sees how awesome Luffy and how cool Luffy has become. So they proceed to escort the Riku family down to the Reverie. We see numerous viewpoints. We also see the first canonical view of Crocodile in the time skip. And then we have numerous views of the Yonkos themselves. And the thing is, the headlines read that Straw Hat orchestrated the entire events of the Whole Cake Island incident. Put Big Mom in dire straits. Caused numerous well-known high-bounty pirates to be part of a Straw Hat Grand Pirate fleet. With his influence and charisma and intelligence, he was able to orchestrate and cause his reputation to rise to such a level that he could be considered the fifth emperor, the fifth Yonko, but of course we know there's only 4. And of course we see the opinions of those who are Yonko about the whole ordeal. Big Mom is just laughing at it because she's wondering, what did I lose exactly in this incident? Luffy's gonna pay for this. She starts to say that Morgans is gonna pay for this, but then she switches it over to Luffy because it's because of Luffy that all the mess on Whole Cake Island transpired. I hope I'm close enough. Hope I'm close enough to my video. I'm sorry. I'm probably just screamed in somebody's ear right now. I'll probably just raise it a little bit higher. But Big Mom, hold on. I want to make sure this is right. But Big Mom is looking at this paper wondering, what did I lose? You'll pay for this, Morgan. No, Straw Hat will be the one who should be watching his back. Then we see the viewpoints of Kaido. That jerk who ruined my trade. What is he doing on the headlines? What is he doing in that old hag's territory? Then we see the first canonical view of Blackbeard, Avalo Pizzato, I got his name, Doc Q, and Van Augur. And then we have another silhouette that I strongly believe is Kuzan just sitting off to the side, because it doesn't match, yo, who's that heavy drinker? The heavy drinker dude, it doesn't match Jesus Burgess, it doesn't match Katarina, and it certainly doesn't match San Juan Wolf, because that joker huge. So I strongly believe that's Kuzan amongst the silhouettes, sitting there reading the paper. We have the first view of Blackbeard, and he's all like, you of the fifth emperor. It's still too soon for you, Straw Hat. And then we see Shanks, and he's just musing over this, just saying that looks like we're going to be meeting pretty soon, Luffy. And it's just and here's the thing, the bombshell that drops in this chapter is, it's not the fact that Luffy's being called the fifth emperor, yet Luffy thinks that his bounty has been reduced to 150 million. No, Brook corrects him, because Luffy is horrible with numbers, forgets that there's an extra 0, and that his bounty is not 150 million, but 1,500,000,000, which now makes Luffy the one person in the entire series at this moment who has the highest bounty, period. Completely beating out Katakuri, who outclassed Jack, who was at one point the one person who had the highest bounty that we ever seen. But because of these events, Luffy now has the highest bounty we see in the series, period. And this just sends the whole crew overboard as they sail into unknown waters. Well, not unknown waters, because they're heading towards Wano. As all the kingdoms are heading towards the Reverie, the Straw Hats are heading towards Wano. This is the final day of April. This is also the first. Tomorrow is going to be a new month, which means that the next chapters we get will be all about the Reverie. Oh, if we actually get, I cannot wait to see how this Reverie goes, because as much as I gotta say that this is off topic here, but as I watched the Star Wars The Clone Wars series, the one season they had where it just focused on the Senate and all the things like senatorial regulations and banking clans and yada yada boring stuff that doesn't include explosions, lightsabers, blasters, or the Sith or Jedi or bounty hunters or Cad Bane. It just bored me. But the Reverie, which is basically just going to be one big congregation, one big meeting of kingdoms to talk about events that are happening in the world and how it affects them, I am heavily invested into seeing what this arc is going to bring. We're going to have brand new people be introduced. When are we going to see the mystery admiral Ryukugyu? We've seen Fujitora. Ooh. What if Fujitora's there? Ooh. That'd be interesting. I wonder what admirals are going to be there. But we do know, I mean, we have so many families. I forgot the names of the families that we seen the first time when they were told that the Reverie would be starting soon. I would love to see how they interact with everybody else. I thought April was a very good month for One Piece, especially the last 2 chapters. No, the chapters in general, there was so much going on, and yet the pacing didn't seem too drawn out. I thought this was a phenomenal month for One Piece. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I got a lot of stuff to do today. I got schoolwork, and then I have a 3rd shift tonight. So I need to get all my stuff done, then be able to take a nap because, yeah, them late nights ain't no joke. I ain't done that in a while. But hope you have a fantastic day. Can't wait to see you all in the next video. Let me know if I missed anything else important. I probably did. I'm just paraphrasing a little bit. But hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you in the next video. So once again, as always, later peoples.